Yep, Jackson State Community College held a discussion on the death penalty.
Good evening. Don't screw up any of you back there like Ross does normally.
They said that never happens.
I mean, we get 2 shows in a row with like the best PA in Arkansas, I've heard. So, I mean, voted by.
Jackson State Community College held a discussion on the death penalty today. Good evening. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sarah Blakely.
And I'm Josh Egbert. NBC 39's Caitlin Medeiros spoke with one woman who survived death row.
When we hear about the death penalty, many of us assume it's a sentence only used in the most extreme cases to those absolutely guilty of horrific crimes. In some cases, that may be true, but a panel visiting Jackson State today, including a woman exonerated from death row, is working to prove the risk in wrongful sentencing is greater than any benefit.
I was angry to start because I was like, I went to them for help and they called me a murderer. And I couldn't figure out why the justice system was doing me the way that it did.
Sabrina Smith was convicted of murdering her son Walter after rushing him to the hospital in 1989 when he suddenly stopped breathing. When doctors found bruises from Smith's resuscitation attempts on her son, she was arrested, convicted, and sentenced to death for murder. During her retrial after 33 months on death row, Smith was acquitted, and it is now believed that her son died of cystic kidney disease, which runs in her family, or SIDS.
We all as a people need to learn more about and look in and dive into it and start talking to the people over our districts. We need to talk to them. We need to try to change the justice system because it's only going to get worse if we don't.
The panel included the coordinator of Tennessee conservatives concerned about the death penalty and Cynthia Vaughn, whose stepfather murdered her mother in 1984 and has been on death row ever since.
Closure's not going to be the execution. Closure's going to be when you come to terms with it, when that person who was victimized, whether it's the inmate or the victim's family, when they come to terms with everything and they accept everything and are able to move past it, that's closure.
The panel discussed evidence showing taxpayers pay more for execution than life sentences without parole. The panelists believe murdering a murderer makes the justice system part of the bigger problem.
I know that we can change this system. We have to find a better way to apply, charges to people that commit these type of crimes. We do.
In Jackson, for NBC 39 News, I'm Caitlin Medeiros.
Our chief meteorologist, Chris Summers, is here with a look at our forecast. A warm-up is on the way.
Yeah, definitely seeing a little bit warmer temperatures as we head through the next couple of days. Had a little bit of rain come through our area today, so that added some moisture to the atmosphere. And now that moisture with the clear skies is actually producing some dense fog across our area. National Weather Service out of Memphis has put our whole area here in West Tennessee underneath a dense fog advisory until 9 o'clock on Thursday. As you head out overnight tonight or especially early tomorrow morning, you may run into visibilities less than a quarter of a mile in some areas, so definitely need to be careful and use some extra caution as you head out on our Thursday. Then we get into the afternoon hours, some sunshine expected. Temperature-wise, should get close to 60 as we get to Thursday afternoon, looking like a mixture of sun and clouds, but I do think we'll see more sun than clouds on Thursday. Our next front comes through late Friday into early Saturday, could bring some more rain with it, and then much cooler weather arriving as we head to Sunday and actually continuing into early next week. And we'll talk more about that with your full forecast coming up in just a few more minutes.
Chris, thanks so much. This week, emergency responders in our area are coming together to stay up to date on their preparedness. Today and tomorrow at Union University, Jackson Fire Department, police, EMS, and health specialists take part in Tennessee Emergency Preparedness Summit, or TEPS. TEPS brings these professionals together to give them a chance to brush up on training and practice to make sure they're bringing their A game in any emergency situation.
Almost monthly we're tornadoes, hurricanes, those type of things, and we've been called upon to actually have to go help sister states. So you need to practice. I mean, you got to practice. You can't just go into one of these incidents and wing it. You got to know what you're doing. It helps know the players. It helps know what all everybody has to bring to the table.
With guest speakers and participants from organizations like Air Evac, Life Team, Vanderbilt, Life Flight, and more, emergency responders learn about the latest info on current technology and practices. All the Hazard Summit allows these teams not only to fulfill their yearly training requirements, but also to connect with some others to ensure they know who can be most useful in any given emergency.
The VFW Post 6496 in Jackson is opening its doors for local Iraqi and Afghanistan war vets. NBC
39's Jackson Overstreet has more on the local vets who are trying to help out the new generation.
Veterans Day was this past weekend. It is a day that is set aside to honor the men and women who have fought for our freedom. But when some of these heroes return from overseas, they come back carrying the scars and trauma of battle.
For a significant number of veterans, and I probably would put the number somewhere around 30%, coming back with some sort of mental health problem or some sort of adjustment problem.
Many of these veterans withdraw from society and start to become self-destructive. Even their fellow vets have noticed the isolationist trend.
A lot of my brothers and sisters are going through things by themselves.
The vets of VFW Post 6496 here in Jackson are trying to help. The Post has begun reaching out to veterans, specifically men and women who have served in Iraq and Afghanistan, to bring them into the fold. Their first step? Adopting the local National Guard Armory on December 2nd.
We have adopted the Armory. There's approximately 250 members up there. They're all Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. There's, well, I shouldn't say that, just a few that are not, but very few. By meaning we adopted them, we are going to open our house and invite them in.
This allows the vets of the VFW to help bring their brothers and sisters out of hiding into a more understanding place.
One combat veteran knows another combat veteran. It doesn't matter what year it was they were in combat or what theater they were in combat. You don't have to really talk about it. You can just tell and know that the experience was the same. And it's comforting to know someone else knows what you went through.
Doctors at the VA agree. Getting veterans around each other helps them deal with the emotional trauma they have from war.
I have a group that I run on Thursdays. It's a PTSD group, and the thing that holds that group together is the fact that they support each other, and they love being around each other, and they can talk with each other in a way that they can't talk to other people.
Thomas and the other members of VFW Post 6496 aren't doing this outreach to get praise from the community. They are doing it because they truly want to help their brothers and sisters get to a healthier place in life.
It's sincere. This isn't something that we take lightly. This is something to us that is very heavy on our hearts because we've been where they're at. And we want to make sure that we bring them in, like I said, as brothers. And we really believe with all our hearts that we can help them.
In Jackson for NBC 39 News, I'm Jackson Overstreet.
And Thomas Buck, the commander of VFW Post 6496, wanted to make sure that any vet watching knows that their doors are open and that they are welcome to come and visit and learn more about what they're doing and how they can help.
6 House Democrats have introduced articles of impeachment against President Trump and are demanding hearings. The articles allege obstruction of justice in the firing of James Comey, claim that the president has violated clauses against accepting gifts from foreign governments, and accuse Trump of undermining the federal judiciary and freedom of the press. Tennessee Congressman Steve Cohen, a lead sponsor, says he doesn't expect a House-wide vote on the articles, but he's calling for hearings to begin on the subject, though he did acknowledge the House Judiciary Committee is very unlikely to consider that move.
We have taken this action because of great concern for our country and our Constitution, our national security, and our democracy. We believe that President Trump has violated the Constitution, and we've introduced 5 articles of impeachment.
Cohen says about a dozen other Democrats expressed interest in co-sponsoring the articles, but backed away due to political considerations.
A man from Tennessee is on an unusual trip across the western 2/3 of the country. Georgie Cutright is enlisting the help of his husky for the trip across the country. He passed through the Abilene, Texas area today. In fact, a news crew caught up with him on State Highway 351 just northeast of Abilene. He says he's making the trip to see the country and demonstrate that being homeless is not the same as being hopeless. Good luck to him.
Well, it's not every day that kids can say they got to hold a fossilized shark's tooth, but 5th graders in Kingsport, Tennessee got a special lesson in geology from a 91-year-old veteran.
Thomas Gray finds out why he's teaching so late in life.
All of this area was under the ocean.
Lewis Carson has been retired for 34 years as an engineer for Eastman Chemical Company. And yet, every year, he volunteers to teach kids about geology and fossils. He says this fossil and other discoveries are from vacations years ago with his children, who inspired him to take up teaching as a volunteer.
All those are because of my children at the beach, finding them on the beach.
Carson has since found curious students energize him.
I suppose I like it because of the degree of excitement that they draw. They simply are wanting to know more about something, and they're really anxious to answer the question.
Teachers are also excited to have him in class.
They love anything different, anything that kind of just is a little bit different from the run-of-the-mill everyday school. So anything, having someone come in is always exciting for them, especially someone like Mr. Carson that has a lot of stories, tells about himself, and it's pretty cool.
And students learn a lot.
When he gave us the rocks and we got fossils, I thought it was kind of cool because how old it was.
We saw them in action, and they are normal.
A quick consumer update for you. If you've shopped at fashion retailer Forever 21 and used a credit card, you're going to want to monitor your account for suspicious activity. Forever 21 says unauthorized users may have gained access to its payment systems. That could have potentially exposed the credit card information of customers who have shopped in some of its stores. Forever 21 says point-of-sale devices were compromised in unspecified stores from March through October. The retailer says it has hired a leading security and forensics firm to investigate and expects to provide additional information to its customers as it becomes available.
Well, one of our favorite parts of Thanksgiving is, of course, the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. This year, 5 new floats will make their debut in the 91st annual event. The floats have been under construction at a New Jersey studio since early spring. They are finally ready to make their journey through the streets of the Big Apple. The biggest innovation for this year's floats: lots of moving parts, and some new giant character balloons will also make the parade route, including the Grinch and Olaf.
All the kids are going to love
Right?
Olaf. I love the Grinch.
Well, I'm surprised they haven't had a Grinch because he's been around for so long, but
Right.
Olaf I can understand.
That
What
has
movie is
been
he from, though?
Frozen.
Oh, yeah, that's
Frozen,
right.
of course. How could you forget?
No kids.
Right.
But the
Again-
Grinch is a surprising one.
Exactly. A surprising but exciting one to see back
it
in
this
there.
year.
Well, we got a few rain showers that moved through today. Temperature-wise, wasn't too bad out there. 59 degrees are high late this afternoon. Should be back close to 60 as we head into our Thursday. But a little dense fog out there tonight. Dense fog advisory in effect until early tomorrow morning. And we'll talk more about that with your full forecast coming up next. And welcome back, everyone. A good Wednesday evening to us. Seeing some dense fog around the area tonight. Some of those visibilities already under 2 miles here. in West Tennessee. Have been seeing some reports up to our north around Dyersburg and actually Union City, as those visibility is already down under a mile. So dense fog advisory in effect until early tomorrow morning. As you could see, these visibilities actually get down close to a quarter mile in some areas as you get into the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning. So definitely need to be careful as you head out early tomorrow morning, as you may run into some dense fog here in West Tennessee. Now, satellite radar doesn't show much going on. Again, had a little bit of rain come through earlier today. Most of the clouds have started to break up, so we're going mainly clear now with just a few clouds still hanging around parts of West Tennessee. Those clouds will start to break up here, and with the clouds breaking up, that's why we're seeing the fog out there as well. Temperatures eventually falling back into the upper 30s to low 40s as you wake up on our Thursday, but looks like highs should get back close to 60. By Thursday afternoon, there's actually some pretty nice weather in the forecast here the next couple of days. Here's your highs from today, upper 50s to low 60s across much of West Tennessee. 57 the high over in Dyersburg, Union City at 55 today, 56 degrees Paris, 57 degrees Milan, and 59 degrees the high today here in Jackson. Take a look at our school day forecast as you wake up early on your Thursday. Again, that dense fog through 9 o'clock in the morning, so we'll see some fog around, mostly to partly sunny skies through 7 o'clock. Temperature at 40, 55 by lunchtime, partly to mostly sunny skies, and getting back in the upper 50s through the afternoon hours. Again, still seeing some mixing of clouds and sun, but really more sun than clouds on Thursday. We'll shoot for a high of around 60, which is right where we should be for this time of year. Right now, mostly cloudy skies here in Jackson, 52 the current temperature. Dew point also at 52 degrees, and winds basically calm. Our visibility here is down to 2 miles as of last hour. Our pressure, though, is back on the rise. Other area hometown temperatures, low 50s to mid 50s across much of West Tennessee right now. 55 currently Savannah with partly cloudy skies. Not visibility down there, not quite as bad right now, as those dew points are still in the low 50s. Same thing with Whiteville too, seeing partly to mostly cloudy skies and a temperature at 55 degrees. Again, visibility is not as bad. But Martin and Trenton with 100% relative humidity, those visibilities are down to at least a mile, maybe even lower than a mile in some areas to our north, as the temperature currently at 50 in Trenton, mostly cloudy, and 51 degrees in Martin with mostly cloudy skies. So really a pretty nice day for your Thursday. Once we get rid of that fog in the morning, should see a lot of sunshine with a few clouds in the afternoon, that high reaching close to 60 as we get to Thursday afternoon. A little bit even warmer for your Friday. Next front comes in late Friday night, early Saturday. Going to bring some showers and thunderstorms along with it, and then much colder weather comes in over the weekend. We'll turn a little windy on Saturday once that front does move by the area, with some showers and thunderstorms really coming to an end mainly during the morning hours on Saturday, and then some cooler weather arriving as you get ready for the week of Thanksgiving. For our surface map, though, on our Thursday, there goes that cold front we saw today with the showers. That actually pushes to our east. Just slightly cooler weather trying to come back in. Again, we're going to see temperatures basically right where they should be this time of year. See a little moisture to our south and west through parts of Texas and parts of Oklahoma. That's our next weather maker. As it gets more organized in, it's going to bring a chance of some rain back to our area. And right now, looking like the timing of it, Friday night into early Saturday, this whole area here in green from parts of Illinois, Missouri, even West Tennessee, and Kentucky could see some gusty winds along the frontal system as it moves through late Friday night, early in the day on Saturday. Some of those gusty winds, also heavy rain possible too with this system. Something to keep an eye on for sure, with much colder weather following behind that as we get late in the day Saturday and especially on Sunday. Tonight, though, we'll go for upper 30s to low 40s. That dense fog advisory in effect to early tomorrow morning. And then for tomorrow, we get back in the mid 50s to our north, maybe low 50s around Union City, but close to 60 here in Jackson for a high temperature with mainly clear skies in the forecast. Your 7-day forecast, 70, the high on Friday before that front gets here, so a pretty nice day temperature-wise anyway on Friday afternoon. Still in the upper 60s on Saturday. That's going to be pretty early in the day as those rain showers move through, and possible thunderstorms could see temperatures start to drop as we head into the afternoon hours of Saturday. 49. Yeah, that's going to be the high temperature on Sunday. We'll see mostly sunny skies. Overnight lows early Monday in the 20s, and then back into the mid to upper 50s next week, with another chance of rain possible by Wednesday, which of course is a big travel day next week. Could be seeing a little bit of rain across parts of West Tennessee as you head out for Thanksgiving next week. But going to really enjoy some warmer temperatures, not only tomorrow, but especially Friday before that front comes through and trying to bring those temperatures back down early next week.
I'll say Sunday looks like a good day to get ready for that Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
meal,
definitely.
Baking or anything you have to
temperatures
do,
in the upper 40s. There'll probably be a little wind to go with that too, making it feel even colder out there. And when those temperatures drop in the low 20s Monday morning, you have a good day to stay indoors. That's for sure.
All right, Chris, thanks.
Thanks, Chris. Stay with us. There's more news coming up after the break. gone by since two young Western Kentucky girls have seen their dad, who's been stationed overseas with the military.
But on Tuesday, he surprised them in a very special way. Evan Gorman has the story.
Inside Hanson Elementary, hundreds of students stepping into the gym, awarded with a magic show for their hard work on a recent fundraiser.
I was enjoying it as much as they were. Every trick was it was really neat.
See that girl sitting there? That's Kinsey. She's 8, a third grader here. Her little sister Peyton, only 3. The two even getting caught up to be a helping hand.
I don't think the kids on the floor and in the stands realized what was happening.
We just had Veterans Day, right? You know veteran? Who? Your dad?
Her dad, Army National Guard Specialist Jason Drake, waiting backstage, returning home from Kuwait and Afghanistan for the first time in nearly a year. Kinsey thought she was looking for the magician, choosing among 3 doors.
I saw those fingers. It looked like Drew's fingers, but it actually was Daddy's. It was, wasn't it? I started to have tears in my eyes.
A military dad holding his 2 daughters home just in time for the holidays. Spending time with my girls.
Yeah. I was ready for Daddy to come home.
Those stories always get me every single
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely.
Well, stay with us. Sports is coming up next.
They will actually be really, sorry.
Is it dirt?
I don't know, there's white.
Good evening and welcome back to NBC 39. I'm Zach Seminar. Good evening and welcome back into NBC 39 Sports. I'm Zach Seminar. On Sunday, the Lady Vols began their season with a home win over East Tennessee State, and tonight the level of competition rose ever so slightly when they welcomed in James Madison. Tennessee jumped out to a 9-0 first quarter lead, never looked back, winning all 4 quarters to cruise to the 89-60 victory. Freshman Renaya Davis scored 17 points, and Jamie Nard just did her thing, stuffing the stats sheet. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists while stretching the floor with 3 triples. The Volunteers have one more game before they head out on the road. They'll play Wichita State on Monday at 6 o'clock. Last night, the latest installment of the college football playoff rankings were released, and even on a bye week, the Memphis Tigers moved up, albeit one spot. Tigers were placed 21st in this week's poll as their chase for a New Year's Six bowl game continues. As we noted last week, Memphis's path to a premier bowl game all rests on how high they find themselves in the playoff rankings. Everything comes down to a likely American title clash between the Tigers and UCF, who moved up 3 spots this week to 15. Now Boise State trying to get in the mix. They cracked the top 25 at number 25 this week. Memphis, they'll play a much improved SMU team this weekend at the Liberty Bowl. As for the teams that find themselves on the inside track to the playoff, Alabama taking over the top spot if you haven't seen. After Georgia lost last weekend, Clemson, Miami, OU fill out the rest of their bracket. Wisconsin and Auburn lurk in the 5 and 6 spots. The next playoff rankings come out on Tuesday. After a late come-from-behind win on Sunday against Cincinnati, the Titans didn't take much time to celebrate. It was on to Pittsburgh for a Thursday night game that will be played tomorrow. The Titans, who are tied at the top of the division with Jacksonville, yes, that doesn't sound right, but Jacksonville, are looking to move up in the playoff standings. And Coach Mike Mularkey was asked yesterday how his offense would attack arguably the best defense in the league and what it would mean to take down the leaders in the AFC.
They're fast, not a lot of guys out of place, do a lot. I mean, very, very complex, just like our defense. Better identify, who you're blocking, and then you got to block them. There's no feathers. No, it's a game it's an important game, obviously. It's against a good football team in a tough environment, and again, there's no feathers. We want to win the game. This is how you win the division. You win conference games, and you have to beat teams like this to get where you want to go.
No extra feathers in the cap to beat the Steelers. Tomorrow, kickoff 7:25 on NBC. Mike Conley had been nursing a sore Achilles of late. He wasn't able to suit up tonight, and it wouldn't bode well for the home team. First quarter, Pacers up 3 on the run. Victor Oladipo drops it off to Thad Young. He slams to put Memphis in a 5-point hole. Later in the first, Dylan Brooks on the drive, and it may only be November, but he looks like Santa going deep into the gift bag and getting the circus shot to drop Grizz within 3. But then Indy starts to build their lead. What in the world is that, Tyreek? On the other end, Darren Collison lays it in. Not even Coach Fizdale can answer my question on Tyreek. A few moments later, it's Domantas Sabonis with a dunk of his own. Grizz would fight and claw to within 3 late, but Pacers win 116-113. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Final look at our 7-day forecast. Dense fog advisory in effect overnight tonight. Visibility is down to less than a quarter mile by early tomorrow morning, but not too bad in the afternoon. 60 degrees, mainly sunny skies. 70 for Friday. Some rain chances move in late Friday, early Saturday. High still in the upper 60s before we drop to the upper 40s on Sunday for high temperatures.
Sounds good.
Yes, thanks.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for watching tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Follow us online, like us on Facebook, and visit our website, wnbjtv.com.